Did you know that God doesn't need you, but He wants you? And when you confuse the two in ministry, that can lead to a lot of spiritual abuse and manipulation. Because we all know the drill. When you start attending a church and you start getting involved, they're going to ask you for your time to serve here or money to do that to grow the church. And when pastors or leaders come up to you and say, hey, I've been praying about this, and I sense God has asked you to do this or do that, you kind of get the sense that this is God asking you and God needs you to do this. So you feel that you can't say no because you want to grow and become a disciple and become mature, right? And become a good Christian. But what happens a lot of times is pastors and leaders use God as an excuse for what they need. And they say it's God's need. And over time, you'll start developing this resentment towards the church leaders and then towards God. And you start distrusting what God really wants. Because reality is, as I said, right? God doesn't need you. He is not worried about getting his kingdom accomplished with you or without you. But what God does want is He wants you to give of your time freely out of a true and sincere relationship. And only then will He actually work with you because He wants you to be His partners in expanding this kingdom here on earth. So the question is, how do we discern between, honestly, man's needs versus God's wants? And I would say the most important thing is when God calls you, and He might call you to do a hard task that might really stretch and grow you and be uncomfortable for you. But when God calls you, it's an invitation that you feel really at peace about. And the Holy Spirit, and here's where you really have to have spiritual discernment. The Holy Spirit will be confirming for you that no matter how easy or hard the task is, you'll feel at peace about it. And secondly, when God calls you to do something, He's not going to ask you to sacrifice your family for it. He's going to ask you to be His partner along with your family so you can continue to grow in Him and be mature in Him. And this is why I always stress a smaller community, because when you're in a smaller community, living holistically, authentically together, and you're all hearing from God, then the Holy Spirit can be speaking to you collectively, and you'll be able to actually discern more effectively where He wants you to go and what He wants you to do. And if you can build a faith within this kind of smaller community, that faith can be really stretched and tested and to be found to be true and be a foundation for a longer, lifelong faith and relationship with God.